The cloth masks are absolutely useless.
I was so proud of my daughter. My daughter worked the polls. Wonderful volunteer.
Right.
I can credit my election to my daughter, Maddie. Anyway, so some leftist was giving her grief, some Democrat. We're not wearing a mask. You're not wearing a mask. And my daughter looked over and said, "My body, my choice." Just shut her up. Just shut her up, man. The leftists had nothing to say once my daughter looked her in the eye and said, "My body, my choice."
There you go.
Go, Maddie.
Can't make it any more plain than that.
Varsity volleyball player, Pinecrest High School.
There you go. Yep.
Okay, got a break for the news coming up on 8 o'clock. And we'll be back on the backside of it, also with an extended ZZ Zone.
Hello, everyone, and happy Wednesday. We're tracking scattered to widespread rain for this afternoon and evening. That could cause some localized flooding in spots due to that heavy rain. A flash flood watch in effect for most areas this afternoon. Highs today in the low to mid to even upper 70s. Heavy rain will continue at times overnight tonight and also on Thursday. Highs Thursday in the upper 60s and low 70s. Rain tapers off sometime on Friday. I'm meteorologist Zach Malak in the Weather Center.
Broadcasting from the top of the North Carolina Sand Hills, 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM, WEEB, Southern Pines, Pinehurst, Aberdeen.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Maryland, Minnesota, and New Jersey among states tightening coronavirus restrictions as the virus continues to spread. Wisconsin governor says his state is under siege.
We once led our region in containing this virus, but now surges in our state rival what we saw in New York City this last spring.
Wisconsin Governor Tony
Our
Evers.
case numbers continue to climb. Since last Friday, we've added more than 25,000 new cases. It took us 7.5 months to get to 100,000 cases, but it only took 36 days to add another 100,000.
136,000 new coronavirus cases reported in the U.S. yesterday, with close to 62,000 hospitalizations. It's Veterans Day, an especially solemn day at Arlington National Cemetery.
The White House says President and Mrs. Trump will visit the cemetery located just across the river from Washington, D.C. There, the commander-in-chief will participate in the traditional wreath-laying at the tomb of the unknown soldier. It will be the president's first public appearance since the election was called for Joe Biden, a result that Mr. Trump and his campaign are disputing.
White House correspondent Greg Clugston, military affairs analyst, retired Army Lieutenant Colonel Robert McGinnis, gives Mr. Trump high marks, saying,
took care of the veterans, and rightly so. They sacrificed a great deal, and it's far more than just the money. He gave them the esteem and the respect that they certainly want.
Team Trump moving ahead with lawsuits aimed at ensuring the integrity of the presidential election, and Senator Ted Cruz expects it to take at least a few weeks to finalize the election results. Wall Street stock futures higher this morning. Right now, Dow futures up 207 points. NASDAQ futures ahead 145. S&P futures up 30 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Excuse me, why don't you have life insurance yet?
I've got diabetes, and I know the price will be through the roof for the pre-existing condition.
Well, actually, SelectQuote makes it easy to get very affordable life insurance, even if you have a health issue.
I'm listening.
You'll get quotes from some of the country's most trusted carriers. Even with your diabetes, you can get around $250,000 in insurance for as little as $1 a day.
That would be amazing. What's it called again?
SelectQuote. Just call or go to selectquote.com to get your free quote. Get the coverage you need at a price you can afford. Call 1-800-694-1010 or go to selectquote.com today. That's 1-800-694-1010 or selectquote.com. SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Get full details on example policy at selectquote.com/commercials. Monthly premiums vary based on health, company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
A judge in the Philippines shot dead inside her court chamber in Manila.
Police say the suspect, named as 42-year-old Amador Rabato, died in the judge's office shortly after shooting himself on Wednesday afternoon. Judge Abadallah had previously been involved in granting the Rappler News president Maria Ressa bail in 2019 following her arrest on cyber libel charges. Her conviction earlier this year, which is being appealed, has been described by Ms. Ressa as politically motivated in revenge for the website's critical coverage of Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte.
The BBC's Howard Johnson. A Turkish fishing boat has capsized after colliding with a Greek-flagged tanker off Turkey's Mediterranean coast. 4 people on board the boat were killed and others missing. The incident between the fishing boat and the tanker occurred at dawn. A search and rescue operation involving 3 Coast Guard cutter boats with a team of divers was launched shortly after the accident. Townhall.com. Thanksgiving right around the corner.
And turkey growers and sellers are taking into account that many Thanksgiving gatherings will likely be smaller this year because of the pandemic. Some in the poultry business expect smaller turkeys to sell more than usual. Elizabeth Carter, owner of TA Farms in Delaware, said the company is not intending to stop selling its largest turkeys, but will put greater emphasis on the smaller ones, as well as packages of just turkey legs, bone-in breast, wings, or thighs. Americans are expected to limit their gatherings to sizes recommended by the CDC. John Scott reporting.
Thousands of people in South Florida still unable to go home because of flooding unleashed over the weekend by Tropical Storm Eta. The storm's still out there in the Gulf of Mexico, and forecasters look for a second landfall late tomorrow somewhere north of Tampa. Yet on Wall Street, Dow futures up 216 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
As our economy gradually reopens, remember to support local.
Know you're doing the right thing and stay proud.
Be a part of the greatest comeback of all time with Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM. WEEB.
Brick's Woodfire Pizza in the Kohl's Shopping Center is now reopened. In addition to the great wood-fired pizzas, Brick's has wood-fired wings, all cooked in our brick oven. And everything is made fresh daily. Your choice of craft beers on tap and a variety of wines. The wait staff is wearing face masks and seating is more than 6 feet apart. Dine in or sit outside on the patio. Jump into the fire at Brick's Woodfire Pizzas, Kohl's Shopping Center, Southern Pines. Open every day at 11 a.m. It's better than ever.
Keeping the interior surfaces of your car clean has never been more important. So how do you sanitize your interior safely? Hey, it's Anthony from Champion Car Wash and Detail Shop with a pro detailer's tip. Logically, bleach ammonia, Clorox wipes, or Lysol would be the best products to use inside your vehicle to clean and sanitize, right? However, these products are most often too harsh for the delicate surfaces of today's vehicles. So what can you use? Use a simple soap and water solution to clean the interior surfaces first. While it won't kill germs, it'll remove dirt, grime, and contaminants sitting on the surface. Afterward, you can use a 70% isopropyl alcohol solution sprayed on a microfiber towel, not directly on the surface, to wipe down the vehicle hot spots like your steering wheel, radio buttons, door handles, etc. A 70% isopropyl alcohol mix ensures maximum effectiveness of the sanitizing wipe down. As with any product you're going to use on your car, always be sure to test this on an inconspicuous spot to ensure color fastness and effectiveness in your own vehicle. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to call Champion Car Wash and Detail Shop, 692-5060.
Dale, how are things at Knollwood Fairways and Midland Country Club this year?
Well, Stuart, you know our motto is 9 is fine. Knollwood and Midland are the only 2 9-hole golf courses in the Sandhills that are available to all golfers every day. And our all-grass practice tee at Knollwood continues to be very popular.
Do you give golf lessons at Knollwood?
Absolutely, Stuart. Our instruction and club fitting program with our 4 PGA professionals continues to grow every year. We love to teach all golfers, beginners, juniors, seniors, and ladies. Go to our website, knollwood-midland.com, to see what we offer. Our prepaid golf rounds and range balls are always popular. Plus, we have instructional packages, club fitting sessions, and a fully stocked golf shop. Knollwood and Midland is the place where quality and affordability meet.
If you're like me, you have to be diligent about watching your weight every single day. Despite how well you watch your weight, the one barrier that's always standing in your way is the belly fat you just can't seem to get rid of. Despite your best efforts, it's always there. Well, now there is a way to get your body to release the fat stored in those belly or thigh fat cells. It's the Ultra Slim Fat Melting Method, a non-invasive, non-surgical body sculpting treatment. This is a light therapy treatment, and the best part is you're guaranteed to lose 2 inches in your waist, hip, or thighs in a 32-minute treatment. I know it works because I've done it. What have you got to lose besides those 2 stubborn inches? Dr. Sharon Wright with Wright Chiropractic in 7 Lakes can give you all the details. Why not set up an appointment by calling her at 673-2225. That's 673-2225 and tell her Steve sent you. And finally say goodbye to your stubborn belly fat.
Saluting the men and women who keep and kept us free. America's veterans.
We remember those who were called upon to give all a person can give.
This Veterans Day salute from 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM, WEEB.
Hey guys, I'm Sarah from the National Athletic Village of Southern Pines. Mark your calendars for December 4th, 5th, 11th, and 12th for North Pole at the Nav. Take the whole family for a night of snowball fights, sleigh rides, Santa's workshop, pine cone decorating, face painting, and more. You'll start the night walking through a Winter Wonderland holiday trail leading to Santa's workshop, and that's just the beginning of the fun. That's December 4th, 5th, 11th, and 12th from 5 to 10 p.m. at the National Athletic Village in Southern Pines. Visit our website for more information at thenationalathleticvillage.com.
NCI News, I'm Mike Rayleigh. Citing continuing increases in coronavirus, Governor Roy Cooper says he is extending the current Phase 3 restrictions and lowering the number of people allowed for indoor gatherings from 25 to 10. Churches are among the locations excluded from the order, and at a briefing on Tuesday, Cooper said they want houses of worship to take precaution.
We really need to be careful that if you're having in-person services, you really need to take significant steps to protect people. We're encouraging people to continue still having virtual services.
As President-elect Biden tries to lay the groundwork for his incoming administration, many high-ranking Republicans continue to support President Trump. CBS News Chief White House correspondent Major Garrett is following this story.
These lawsuits are hearsay, meaningless, and distractions. That's all they are. They are delaying the inevitable. Every sensible Republican on Capitol Hill knows that, and their mute testament and loyalty to the president will only serve to encourage him to resist the transition of power.
As the Supreme Court argues on the Affordable Care Act, some legal experts in the state are urging people to apply now. Jackie Kiger, the head of Pisgah Legal Services in Asheville, tells WLOS.
Last year during open enrollment, 505,275 people enrolled in the ACA.
Guilford County Schools have approved a revised phased-in reentry plan for students to return for in-person learning. On Tuesday night, the board decided to send students from pre-kindergarten through second grade will return full-time starting on Thursday. School board member Darlene Garrett tells us.
So why we're even thinking about sending back more students and teachers and exposing them is a crime to me.
Several inches of rain could fall throughout North Carolina today and tomorrow, triggering a risk for isolated flooding. You're listening to NCN News. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina has over 85 years of experience caring for North Carolinians like you. This year, they're proud to offer enhanced Medicare plan benefits for very low premiums for 2021. Visit BlueCoverageNC.com today to learn more about their $0 premiums and drug copay plans as low as $0. That's BlueCoverageNC.com. Medicare that cares back. That's the benefit of Blue.
The 2021 Honda ATV lineup is here to prove it's possible to work smarter and harder. With the power to get the job done, the technology to make it easier, and tried and tested quality to keep you moving forward, the only thing left to add is you. Then you'll understand how life is better on a Honda. Honda recommends ATVs for riders 16 years and older and recommends that all ATV riders take a training course.
Employment growth was better than expected in October, and the unemployment rate fell sharply, even as the U.S. faces the challenge of surging coronavirus cases. That's according to NC State University economist Dr. Mike Walden.
The economy actually rose a very sharp 30%, 7% on the quarterly basis, 30% on the annual basis. So we are seeing the economy come back.
The North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services put out its official guidance for Thanksgiving celebrations, and as DHHS Secretary Mandy Cohen previewed it,
smaller is better, and outdoors is better than indoors.
The number of daily coronavirus cases reported nationwide has topped 100,000 for the last 8 days, with a record 136,000 yesterday. CBS News correspondent David Bignose in Toledo, Ohio.
Across the heartland, demand for testing is surging. 17 states hit new records for hospitalizations. Here in Ohio, admissions and cases are rising so fast that hospitals may have to start postponing non-emergency procedures, according to Ohio State University Dr. Andrew Thomas.
We're within a couple of weeks of having to make difficult decisions. I'm talking every hospital in the state.
Uncle Sam is suing a Washington state firm it alleges supplied tainted, poisonous fruit for school lunches.
The FDA accuses Valley Processing of Sunnyside, Washington, of supplying apple juice containing high levels of arsenic and rotted fruit containing toxins to a federal school lunch program to the tune of 3 million servings a year. For its part, the company blames the suppliers it sold its products to, but it's also told the New York Times it's now ceased operations and will abide by an agreement to clean up its act under supervision if it wants to reopen. Vicki Barker, CBS News.
Mike Rayleigh, NCN News.
Good morning and happy Wednesday. We're starting off with a few showers around the area and mild temperatures this Wednesday morning. This afternoon, we'll see scattered to widespread moderate to heavy rain, and that could cause some localized flooding, so a flash flood watch is in effect for most of the area this afternoon. Highs today back in the low to mid to even upper 70s. Heavy rain continues at times overnight tonight, also on Thursday, tapering off on Friday. I'm meteorologist Zach Malak in the Weather Center.
Right now here in the Sand Hills area, we have rain and 69 degrees, humidity 96%, dew point 68, pressure 2980, wind south-southeast at 4, gusting to 9. Let's take a look at your Sand Hills news for this Wednesday hump day. North Carolina will not reopen the economy further as coronavirus cases rise and a higher percentage of COVID tests are coming back positive. In anticipation of the Thanksgiving holiday, Governor Roy Cooper announced that indoor gatherings limits will be tightened from 25 people to 10 people. A man and a woman from Carthage are due in Moore County District Court for felony drug charges. The Moore County Sheriff's Department announced the arrest of Robert Thomas and Tegan Moyer on Tuesday. Thomas, 41, Moyer, 26, were pulled over Saturday in Bass in the 100 block of Union Church Road. They were arrested after the deputies searched their vehicle and found cocaine and drug paraphernalia. The Moore County Board of Education voted to accept an offer to purchase Aberdeen Primary School. District officials recommended the offer from the Pinecrest Wrestling Club Sandcast to be accepted. The unanimous vote happened at the board's Monday, November 9th regular meeting held at the Union Pines High School. The wrestling club, according to the offer, will pay $120,000 for the property. Approval by the school board launches an upset bid process. And Democrat Cal Cunningham has conceded to incumbent Republican U.S. Senator Tom Tillis in North Carolina. Cunningham said in a statement Tuesday that the voters have spoken and it was clear Tillis had won. Tillis led Cunningham by more than 95,000 votes. The race is too early to call, with votes still uncounted. That's your WEEB local news this morning from the Sand Hill Sentinel. And of course, you can go to thesandhillsentinel.com for more information. 8:17 now. That's time for sports. Right here on Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB.
NCN Sports, I'm Josh Zach. It is official. The NBA is coming back December 22nd. The league and the Players Association struck a deal on rules for a 72-game schedule. The NBA says a new system will be used to ensure that the split of basketball-related income continues, one of the many details that had to be collectively bargained with the Players Association. Some are scratching their heads, wondering why the AL Manager of the Year went to the Tampa Bay skipper Kevin Cash. It's because he guided the Rays to an AL Best 40-20 regular season record and has long been regarded as one of baseball's bright young minds. But it's not what everyone is scratching their head about.
Cash was widely criticized for pulling ace left-hander Blake Snell in the 6th inning of the decisive 6th game of the World Series against the Los Angeles Dodgers. But voting by the Baseball Writers Association of America concluded before the playoffs began. I'm Mike Gracia.
Miami's Don Mattingly received the NL honor after leading the Marlins to a 31-29 record and their first playoff appearance since 2003. That all despite a COVID outbreak that paused that team's season and ravaged its roster. The Steelers are scheduled to play the Bengals Sunday, but Pittsburgh's current opponent is the coronavirus. The unbeaten Steelers have placed 4 players, including Ben Roethlisberger, on their COVID-19 reserve list. The move came a day after tight end Vance McDonald went on the list after testing positive. Linebacker Vince Williams, running back Jalen Samuels, and offensive lineman Gerald Hawkins are the other 3. They all must pass COVID-19 tests throughout the week to have any chance at playing on Sunday. The Masters gets underway from Augusta tomorrow. Tiger Woods says playing in the tournament, the older you get, is different, but he says he thinks he can still win at the ripe age of 44.
The golf course keeps getting longer, so it gets a little bit more difficult as I've gotten older and I don't quite hit as far.
Woods says it will be tough playing in Augusta without fans. Round 1 gets underway tomorrow morning. This is NCN Sports.
Life is made up of moments. Exciting moments. Scary moments.
Insufficient funds.
Moments you wish you could forget. And moments that change your life forever. Any one of these could also be the moment you decide to enroll in a North Carolina community college. Need a job and want a quick option to boost your chances? Looking to gain new skills to go farther in the career you have? Maybe you're interested in a 2-year degree so you can start working sooner, or want to get a jump start to transfer to a 4-year university later. Whatever you need, North Carolina community colleges are ready for you. Get an affordable, high-quality education. And yes, financial aid options are available too. So make the next moment the one you decide to invest in yourself. Visit yourhighereducation.com today. That's yourhireeducation.com. Your future you will thank you.
Round 1 of the Masters gets underway tomorrow morning at Augusta National, but players have been at the course this week practicing. John Rahm celebrated his birthday during Tuesday's practice round with a trick shot, hole-in-one. Rahm's tee shot on the par 3 16th skipped 3 times off the pond, jumped the curb, curled across the green, and into the cup. The coronavirus has forced the SEC to postpone 3 games on this weekend's schedule. Auburn, Mississippi State, LSU versus number 1 Alabama, and Texas A&M, Tennessee will not be played because of players testing positive for COVID-19. The ACC, meanwhile, has put out the men's basketball schedule, a 27-game calendar with 20 of those contests in conference. Number 9 Duke and 16th-ranked North Carolina will both open at home the day before Thanksgiving. The Blue Devils hosting the College of Charleston, while the Tar Heels will welcome Gardner-Webb. Josh Zach, NCN Sports.
The greatest comeback of all time is underway. Remember to shop local businesses. A reminder from Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM. WEEB.
This is Chuck from Sunbelt Service Pros. Are you just not feeling it anymore with your AC service provider? Are you calling those guys because that's what you've always done, or because there's a sticker on the thermostat with an old phone number on it? How about this? Take a chance and you'll be thrilled to find that you're getting real value for your heating and cooling dollars. When you call Sunbelt Service Pros, you are dealing with a professional and reliable service provider. Our technicians are highly trained and certified and can quickly address any issues. Our customers find our technicians and office staff courteous, friendly, and professional throughout the whole process. We're doing something right here. You need to check us out, find out what you've been missing, and call us today. Sunbelt Service Pros at 910-944-2044 or go online to sunbeltservicepros.com.
Brick's Woodfire Pizza in the Kohl's Shopping Center is now reopened. In addition to the great wood-fire pizzas, Brick's has wood-fired wings, all cooked in our brick oven. And everything is made fresh daily. Your choice of craft beers on tap and a variety of wines. The wait staff is wearing face masks and seating is more than 6 feet apart. Dine in or sit outside on the patio. Jump into the fire at Brick's Woodfire Pizzas, Kohl's Shopping Center, Southern Pines. Open every day at 11 a.m. It's better than ever.
You can jump into the fire. The wait is finally over. Pinehurst Toyota's new state-of-the-art building is now open. We're making it easier than ever to buy your next car. With every Pinehurst Toyota purchase, you get the Pinehurst Toyota Advantage Plan. That includes our 3-day exchange policy, a lifetime limited powertrain warranty, 2 years no-cost maintenance, free car washes, complimentary loaners, and so much more, all at no extra cost to you. Stop in today to browse over 350 new, certified, and quality pre-owned vehicles. Our highly trained staff is ready to give you more for your trade and get you into your new car faster and easier than ever before. The best time to buy is right now. Visit PinehurstToyota.com to shop our entire inventory, get pre-approved, take advantage of our monthly service specials, or schedule your next service appointment. Pinehurst Toyota is open 7 days a week or anytime at PinehurstToyota.com. No cost maintenance provided by Toyota Care. See dealer for complete details.
This is Neil, owner of Seven Lakes Kennels. We offer boarding, grooming, daycare, and training. More importantly, our passion comes from getting to know each of our families.
My name is Laura Scott, and my dog has been in the board and train program at Seven Lakes Kennels with Neil for 4 weeks. In that 4 weeks time, I've seen significant improvements in his decision making, his ability to obey, and to respond to commands. It's amazing what Neil has been able to do.
We moved here a little over a year ago and needed a place to bring our dogs for kenneling and doggy daycare. We have 2 Huskies. They love the place. They get super excited when they know that we turn off the main road and they're coming here. They know where they're going.
We have 2 Huskies, and the younger of the 2 is a little bit of a special needs animal in the fact that she has seizures from time to time. Neil's team at Seven Lakes have taken great care of her and him, the other Husky as well, and we feel totally comfortable in dropping them off.
Call Seven Lakes Kennels at 910-673-2060. That's 910-673-2060.
They just take great care of our dogs.
At Sandhills Collision Center in Seven Lakes, we proudly serve all your automotive repair, auto body restoration, and collision repair needs. With our brand new state-of-the-art Chief straightening system and eco-friendly AmeriCure paint booth, you can rest assured that your vehicle, boat, or RV will receive top-notch repair and flawless paint jobs. And for all you aviators, we do aircraft body repair too. Sandhills Collision Repair Center is veteran-owned and offers a 5% discount to our military family. We give free estimate and accept all insurance and self-pay. All our ATECs will provide superior customer service from start to finish because we are committed to quality and prompt expert service. Bring your automobile, boat, or RV by today for a free quote at 135 Village View Drive in Seven Lakes. That's just 2 minutes from the Food Lion on Seven Lakes Drive. Or call us at 910-673-AUTO. That's 673-AUTO. Sandhills Collision Center, because you deserve the best. Max Breakfast Anytime is now open 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. Monday through Sunday, and on Fridays from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. when they'll be serving Calabash-style seafood. Military 10% discount anytime. Discounted menus for seniors are always available. Come in today or call for curbside pickup at 910-692-9806. That's 910-692-9806. Max Breakfast Anytime, 1904 Highway 1 in Aberdeen.
Saluting the men and women who keep and kept us free. America's veterans.
We remember those who were called upon to give all a person can give.
This Veterans Day salute from 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM, WEEB.
The Zumwalt Zone is brought to you by Quality Built Homes, the Sandhills' #1 home builder, developer, and remodeler. With over 1,500 homes built in Moore County, we earn our name every day. Quality Built Homes, 910-944-7453.
Hello, I'm John Zumwalt, and you're in the Zumwalt Zone. Even if we do have some awfully weak people in charge of us, we live in one of the strongest areas in America when it comes to honoring our military. It's amazing how this community pulls together and recognizes those among us who served, and in our case, the thousands who are still serving. I do remember, when America didn't feel this way about our veterans. I was one of those who came home to jeers, but that's over, and America has more than made up for it. Army, Navy, Marines, Air Force, and United States Coast Guard. They're out there right now, you know. Some of them are gonna die, some will die, but every single one of them knows they could die, protecting this nation and protecting us, and that's what makes them special. There's one more group, and this group you're more than likely to be in. Mothers, fathers, sons, daughters, husbands, wives, grandmas, granddads, and all the dear and precious friends, and the list just goes on. Loved ones of veterans. I honor this group as highly as I honor those who served. The sacrifices they make every day and are still making were amazing, and they're unreported for the most part. When one parent leaves, a car still breaks down, sync still stops up. With all the COVID restrictions, our lives and our education up in the air, it's even worse. So thank you, veterans. But today, most especially, I want to say thank you to all your families from the Zumwalt zone.
Hello, everyone, and happy Wednesday. We're tracking scattered to widespread rain for this afternoon and evening. That could cause some localized flooding in spots due to that heavy rain. A flash flood watch in effect for most areas this afternoon. Highs today in the low to mid to even upper 70s. Heavy rain will continue at times overnight tonight and also on Thursday. Highs Thursday in the upper 60s and low 70s. Rain tapers off sometime on Friday. I'm meteorologist Zach Mullock in the Weather Center.
And now, the Sandhills' #1 morning show. Mornings with the LeaderMan. Here on Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. And heard and seen around the world at talk973.com.
The best part of waking up is waking up with us.
Veterans of the blue and the gray, I accept this monument in the spirit of brotherhood and peace.
There can be no greater service to our country and no source of pride more real.
Today, Veterans Day, as we do every year, we take that moment to embrace the gentle heroes of Vietnam and of all our wars.
As our forces fight, they and their families are in our prayers.
The brave Americans serving our nation today in the Persian Gulf, in Somalia, and wherever else they stand are testament to our resolve.
They deserve to know that their elected leaders who voted to send them to war continue to stand behind them.
So thank you for your service and your sacrifice.
You are among the very greatest Americans who will ever live. You are the pride of our nation. You are the glory of our republic. And we thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
Guess what day it is?
Today is Veterans Day.
It's an opportunity for us to thank all those who've served our country.
Thank you for your service.
Today we honor all the brave men and women.
Every service and every branch. Thank you for your service.
Who have served and are still serving in the United States Armed Forces.
Thank you for your service.
Hey, Veterans Day. Take care of this guy.
Today is Veterans Day.
Because of your protection, we are able to enjoy the freedoms of our beautiful country.
We salute you.
Happy Veterans Day.
Showtime.
From the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli, we fight our country's battle in the air, on land, and sea. First to fight for right and freedom, and to keep our honor clean. We are proud to claim the title of United States Marine. Unfurled to every breeze, from dawn to setting sun. We have fought in every clime and place where we could take a gun. In the snow of our own northern lands and in sunny tropic seas, you will always find us on the job, the United States Marine. Health to you and to our corps, which we are proud to serve. In many a strife we fought for life and never lost our nerve. If the Army and the Navy ever look on heaven's sea, they will find the streets are guarded by United States Marines.
All right. Good morning. Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM. That went too far. 104.1 FM and 990 AM WEEB. Welcome back to the most listened to program in all of the Sandhills. It's Mornings with the LeaderMan. I am Steve Leader Adams, along with the Colonel, retired Marine Colonel Jeff Drummond. Good morning, Marine.
Hey, good morning, Moore County. Good morning, veterans. Marines, we have a couple other veterans here today, John Zumwalt and David Hensley. So, we'll, kind of tag along on the discussion I guess we had this morning and move on to some other topics. So,
all right, don't forget, of course, you can watch our video of this, or the live video of the studio here, by going to our website at talk973.com or talk1041.com. Top middle of the page is where the link's located on your mobile device. Fire up YouTube and put Mornings with the LeaderMan, LeaderMan all one word, spelled like it sounds, into the search parameters. If you want just an audio stream on your mobile device, you fire up a streaming app such as TuneIn, iTunes, or Streamer, and just stream.com. Fire that up and put WEEB in the search, and as always, it's available on our website. Upper right-hand corner of every page has an icon that says On the Air, Listen Live. Click that once and you're listening that quick. All right, 8:33. This is the portion where we turn it over to John this morning.
Well, thanks, Steve. Good morning, everyone. We do have two Marines in here and just one Army guy.
We have you surrounded.
Well, I was going to say, it's really not fair. You need 2 or 3 more Marines to make it even, I reckon. But anyway, I want to split this into 2 parts, and there's a lot to say here, so I want to get started. First part, I want to talk about Veterans Day, and second part, I want to talk more about something else. This is not going to go where you think it's going to go, so I hope you'll listen to me. There's a group right now of people that are getting up. I think that you know who they are. They're going out without very much sleep, getting up a lot earlier than the rest of us and going to bed later. They're not getting enough to eat. They can think of nothing except combat, and their next place they're going to hurt the enemy. They train hard. They do anything it takes to make their cause, to protect their cause and to hurt the enemy. And the people I'm talking about, of course, are the bad guys, the guys who want to kill you, and they do. And we forget sometimes they're still out there. We don't have a magnificent Marine Corps and Army and Navy and Air Force and Coast Guard because we just think it would be a nice thing to do. We have them because there are people standing ready right now to kill you, to do horrible things to you, to take over this great nation in other ways besides just infiltration like they're attempting to do now. Our bad guys they want to kill us. And it's not your words or my words or magnificent oratory on the Senate floor that keeps them from killing us. It's our military. I hope you don't forget that. You've got people, the Islamic radical over in the Middle East and in other ways, China, where President Trump says China, and Russia and all the other different countries that want to take us over, want to hurt us, want to damage us any way they can, and all of you believe that. So thank God we live in a magnificent, wonderful country and a great state and a great county that truly honors our veterans, and I know that I do. And of course, I can never mention veterans ever without mentioning their families and thanking them for all they've done and all that we've put them through, and all the praise we get, we should be given to them. All right. Now, to switch subjects. I like to come to this radio station and talk and have fun, have a good time, and shoot the bull with these guys. It's so much fun. I do not want to spend my golden years, what I have left, talking about the pathetic pilot newspaper. But John Nagy gives me no choice. The man just won't be quiet. He cannot help but write untruths in that newspaper. And I've asked David if he would address most of this because he did a great job yesterday on Facebook talking about it. But let me say a couple of things first. We elected 3 new school board members, not because of their looks and their charm and their wit, but rather because our children have no voice. Do you realize that that precious little child that you get up and get dressed every day and you drive to school or send off in the bus or sit in front of a computer to waste time, They've got no voice in their education. They get what we give them, and that's why we elected people. We elected people that would hopefully take up for them, and we've got 3 men who are going to do that. I'm going to read something before I turn it over to David. David has no idea that I'm about to read this. No one in this room does. No. Let me get through it. In the year 2016, the pilot wrote something about our new chief of communications arriving in town. And on the printout page of comments that I have, there are 7 comments. I don't know how many there were altogether, but only one of the comments is positive. And had I read this, my comment, quite frankly, would have been positive. I wouldn't have had the foresight probably to see what was going to happen. John Nagy is the only positive comment on this page. Now remember, he's the editor of the pilot, and when they printed an article saying that we had a new communications director and how much we were paying her and all these negative comments, John Nagy felt the need to say, this is an existing position. The system, it's real small print, folks, and I got real old eyes. The system has had for years. It became vacant recently. In other words, he's saying, quit your whining. We've had this thing all this time, and so now we filled it. Another fellow, David Hensley, sorry, well, you can use that John as me, not Nagy, said this back in 2016. He said, before I knew David, before he had any idea, I guess, he was going to run for school board, he said this, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Schools are not underfunded. Rather, schools spend way too much money on staff members. I think, he didn't say teachers, he said staff members. I think the pilot should do a bit of investigative journalism. Oh, I'm sorry, you guys.
I was naive back then. Yes, yeah.
Pilot and investigative journalism. The best we can hope for is that Jamie Baxley will win another Safety Patrol Journalism Award for one of the ridiculous things that he writes about. I don't know.
Please note, I didn't say that.
I did.
That was an additional comment.
Because he's always bragging about his awards he's gotten from wherever he gets them. I think the pilot should do some investigating report journalism on the subject of school administrators and staff, specifically the number of administrators and staff and their pay relative to similar jobs in the community. And man, did that ever turn out to be a fitting prophetic comment. Now, before I ask David to chime in here, I want to remind you once again, we did not have any idea that John Nagy was doing the things that he's doing, and that's why we feel that we cannot get the truth printed in the pilot. We've often sat around here and discussed, as you know, and you're probably getting sick of hearing, about why can't the pilot print facts about the schools. And it turns out, as we reported here, someone else broke this, but we reported this over and over, that John Nagy, the editor of the pilot, one of 2 men who decides what goes in that newspaper from the schools, has a relationship with the communications director. Now, I don't give a hoot, neither does anyone in this room, about his relationships, who he has one with, and who he decides to talk to. I don't care. But I do care when it has an effect on our children. Remember, they have no voice in this, and Nagy decides what goes in that newspaper, and the person who feeds him that information, it would make sense, wouldn't it, that it's the communications director, tells him what they want in there. Now, I think of all the Freedom of Information Acts that I've submitted to Catherine Murphy, all the things I've sent to her asking for requests, but on different things, and I can't help but wonder, did she go home that night and did she tell John Nagy what I said, and did they figure out what the best way to respond to that? I don't know the answer to that. I'm making no accusations here, but I am saying one can't help but wonder, right? You can't help but wonder if there isn't something going on there. Now, if you're as sick and tired of hearing about this as I am, then tell Nagy, John Nagy, call upon him to do what is right by this lady that he has chosen. Tell him, and I know that publicly Miss Murphy's mother has chastised me and David for bringing this up in public.
She hates me.
And she hates Steve, and she's angry with us. And I would say to her, ma'am, you need to chastise
your daughter's friend. He's the one who is supposed to protect her. He never should have gotten her in this position in the first place. He should have kept her out of it. He should have figured out a way to cut her out. He knew better than this, and yet, he still is dragging her name through the mud. We are not. He is allowing this to be done. John Nagy, shame on you, and I'll be doggone. I was ready last night to spend the entire day today talking about something else. I'll be doggone if Nagy didn't write something else that is complete malarkey and completely in line with what the school board, the old school board, wanted him to write. Can we, before I say, David, come on in, let me say this. We've got to start getting to a point where the old school board will say, yes, we welcome you with open arms. We'll work with you. We want to work with you. Forget the past. Forget what's gone on before. We realize the people have spoken. They want what's best, truly best for this community, and we're willing to work with and want to work with the new school board members. And the pilot's got to start printing the truth. Go ahead, David.
So, other than personal relationships, I'm going to
might want to identify you as David Hensley, freshly elected to the school board.
Yes,
people know.
Yes,
who they're listening to.
And I didn't do that because I'm not a professional.
And U.S. Marine Corps veteran on Veterans Day.
Yeah, and thank you for your service.
So, in addition to these personal relationships, there's also a business relationship, and that is the Moore County school system advertises in the pilot.
Yes.
So, there's money changing hands. So, of course, they get good editorial things. In addition to that, if you look at boards, and I'm just going to mention two boards. One is really important. If you really want to know who controls what in Moore County, you need to look at the Board of Partners in Progress. And in there, you'll see David Warnoff, part owner and publisher of the pilot, on the board with Bob Grimacy, the superintendent of schools. Also, you'll see on the Moore County Chamber of Commerce, you'll see Nagy on the board of directors with Bob Grimacy, the superintendent. So there, in addition to personal relationships, business relationships, there's also these, positions on boards that control things.
Financial relationships. Yeah. There you go.
And this manifests itself in many ways, and we've covered the 100% positive news on Moore County schools on the standard part of the paper, the news, which is really generally opinion. But it also, in addition to what I'm going to cover, it shows up in these fake letters to the editors that they publish around Election Day for the incumbents.
Right.
And I've never commented on these, but I saw it in the primary. There's two things I want to say about these fake letters to the editor praising the incumbents. First of all, the same people that wrote letters in the primary were the same people that wrote letters in the general. Right. So you think that the pilot would get a clue. Now, this was all before I understood the relationships, both business and personal. Also, if you know the people who write the letters, I'm going to leave names out of this. During the primary, there was a letter to the editor, and I could cite dozens of these. And these are the letters that the pilot chooses to publish over all others, right? Well, I'll just pick one out. There was this lady who glowing, this so-and-so member, she's done so much for this and that. She's created the best schools ever, and oh my God, they're the best public schools. Well, I know that lady, and she pulled her children out of Pinehurst Elementary 2 years prior and sent them to a O'Neill school.
Ha! Right, so, hypocrite. There you go.
Right. So you see these, people that write these letters, publish praising the incumbents or praising whoever side the pilot's on. The pilot chooses these letters, and the letters are 100% demonstrably fake. They're fake platitudes. If you really believe that Moore County schools were the best, Miss, well, I won't say her name, you would not have pulled your children out and sent them to a private school. And there's dozens of examples of that. But it's like we pointed out in the last segment. The pilot wants to hammer Councilman Lancaster for not wearing masks. Here's a quote that Warnoff and Nagy wrote. If nothing else, Lancaster's talking, this is Nagy and Warnoff talking about Southern Pines Councilman Lancaster. If nothing else, Lancaster's position not to wear a mask to protect others is embarrassing and selfish, and it is an affront to the medical professionals. Okay, as I said last hour, when I was in the pilot's headquarters, dozens and dozens of employees, not a single one, to include Nagy and Warnoff, were wearing masks. So I would ask Nagy and Warnoff, do you consider your decision to not wear a mask to protect others embarrassing and selfish? So Warnoff, let's hear that. Also, this is what else Nagy and Warnoff wrote. Mitch, don't be a knucklehead. For the sake of everyone, the elderly, the sick, those trying to stay healthy, the medical professionals who saved your life, wear a mask and move on with life. I would ask, by the way, this is in the 4 November edition of the pod. This is the week before they decide to bash me. Okay, so I would ask, Warnoff, Nagy, don't be a knucklehead. For the sake of everyone, the sick, the elderly, those trying to stay healthy, the medical professionals who saved someone else's life, wear a mask and move on with life, because I didn't see you two or anyone else in your entire company wearing masks when I was in your headquarters, a month ago.
Right, and not only that, there's a lot of public members are in and out of those offices over there at the pilot. So this is. Oh yeah, no,
that day I was there, they had someone famous coming in, and they were going to have dozens of people coming in and getting photographs. So exactly. Warnoff, and Nagy knowingly endangered all these people coming to visit them. Then they closed off, being Nagy and Warnoff. We're all sick of wearing masks, but not as sick if we don't wear them at all. Well, gentlemen, you're not wearing masks. But there's one other thing I want to point out on this before I move on. On this editorial, the letters to the editor, they chose 2 letters from the public to bash. To publish. And both of these are bashing Mr. Lancaster.
Right.
They didn't choose to write a single letter to the editor that was in opposition of their little opinion.
Right.
So anyway, no credibility. But let's say that regardless, they, as I said, they've clouded their already questionable judgment, and they wrote an editorial because they're so blinded by their personal relationships, their business relationships, they can't help but bash the 3 newly elected members of the school board.
I want to say one thing for folks listening. The reason we're talking about this is because the pilot is letting Moore County down horribly. We depend on the newspaper to give us the news, and it's important that you understand they are not giving us the correct news, and that's why we're talking about
this.
Yeah,
it's a fantasy world that they build up and they reinforce by what they pick and choose. So anyway, they wrote this. They wrote the editorial board, Nagy and Warnoff, wrote this editorial in the 8 November edition of the pilot. And the first part is opinion and this and that, which is okay. But then they got to the meat of it, right? And they said, and we'll discuss these, Levy, Hensley, that's me, and Holmes said a lot of things during this campaign and made a lot of promises. I'm going to cover these out of order. They also wildly conflated figures and misstated data, even after being made aware of their errors, like how Moore has 4 D-rated schools, not 5. That is demonstrably false.
Right.
Anybody, if you go to my campaign Facebook page, anyone with one click of the mouse can click on that link, go to the North Carolina Department of Instruction website, see the objective, I got it linked right there, see the objective and official grades assigned by the North Carolina Department of Instruction to Moore County schools. You can count them on one hand, Nagy and Warnoff. You don't even need to use your second hand. The 5 D-rated schools are 1, Aberdeen Elementary, 2, Aberdeen Primary, 3, Elise Middle, 4, Robbins Elementary, and 5, notice I use my thumb, 5, Southern Middle.
He is a Marine.
Okay. If I count to 11, I had to take a shoe off, right? But anyway, my point is, that is factually incorrect. Right. And anyone with one click of the mouse can just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're wrong.
Yes.
That is what Nagy and Warnoff and the pilot passes for news. It's almost like they're on their last leg. They're about to shut their doors because they're going out of business, and they don't care that they're completely discredited.
Right. They lie. What else can you say? They won't come on here. John repeatedly invites them. They're not coming on here to try to back up their lies. But
Then they continue, and they publicly shamed elementary principals. Notice the plural. Popular with kids, parents, and teachers, all for political gain. Okay, couple things. One is principals. I don't recall principals. Now, I did talk about holding principals accountable and how we have principals who've been at D-rated schools for 6-7 years, and maybe, they ought to be told, look, you're either going to increase it or we're going to find someone who will, but I don't think that's publicly shaming. We did talk about the McDeeds Creek Elementary School.
That's the only one.
And we did publicly available information that was reported by the pilot.
Right.
We pointed out that she was arrested and charged with DWI, 2 counts of child abuse, 2 other counts, that she was convicted, sentenced to 12 months in prison. She got 1 month credit for time served, and then she was on court-ordered supervised probation. That the court found that her probation needed to be supervised, and that the Board of Education and superintendent were fine with having an elementary school principal who had those horrible charges and was currently serving probation while being the principal. And then we talked about how children, so we questioned the judgment of the Board of Education. We pointed out how she was politically connected, how her father was in fact a 5 or 6 term Democrat state legislator, and her mother's currently a mayor of somewhere over in Cumberland County. And then we questioned the school board's judgment on that. We talked about potential cronyism, and we also talked about how the children, the parents, the children need role models, and parents, staff, and other employees need people they can look up to and respect.
All true.
That is 100% true, and that is not bashing the principal. In fact, we talked about the principal and how we hope that her and her family heal and she gets the treatment that she probably needs. We were discussing the poor judgment of the Board of Education and the superintendent. I want to talk about the third thing, though. Why did the pilot have to point out that this principal was popular?
Yeah, it's got nothing to do with anything.
Well, so is the pilot suggesting that people who are popular or politically connected be held to a different standard?
Yeah.
And that if you're popular, then, well, gosh, she's popular, we shouldn't punish her for, we shouldn't hold her accountable for getting sentenced to 12 months in prison. And that maybe if she was less popular, then maybe you would hold her accountable. That's what the pilot's suggesting. Why else would they say that she was popular? That has zero bearing. Our justice system is blind.
Yep.
But the pilot's suggesting that. And, oh, by the way, Nagy and Warnoff, in case you missed it, you can look back in my ads in your paper where I said there's going to be one set of standards uniformly applied throughout Moore County schools. One set of standards does not mean a separate standard if you're popular or politically connected.
And David, I really do believe, I've said this for a year now, that when we're on here talking, we're not really talking to people. I almost feel like we're having a conversation with them. I almost feel like if we had some way that we could hear what they're saying, they would be talking back to us and saying, yes, I agree with that. And the reason I bring that up now is because I think the people that listen to us do know and do understand. They want one set. They want to be held, other people to be held to the same value, the same criteria they're held to. You don't go to a murder trial and the first attorney gets up and argues, well, she's very popular and people really like her or him a lot, so we should just let them go. I don't have any animosity toward this lady, and as David said, it has nothing to do with her except that she is the vehicle that we're using to expose the horrible decision-making process that the school board goes through.
Right.
Exactly. The third thing I want to comment on.
You got 1 minute.
The third thing I want to comment on is they talked about how we criticized the new schools. No, we did not criticize the new. Well, I don't have time to cover it.
Well, give us an outline.
I'll give it a try. What they did is they intentionally combined two things. They talk about how the voters overwhelmingly approved, the bond issue, and therefore we shouldn't criticize how they spent the money. Right. No, the voters overwhelmingly gave $103 million blank check to the Board of Education. The Board of Education, rather than spend that wisely and equitable throughout the county, they built three gold-plated schools. They could have built 6 or more. They built 3 gold-plated schools in South County to service Pinehurst, Southern Pines Elementary. They squandered about 25% of that money through wasteful spending and, the trailer park and the Pines and other things. So we did not criticize the bond issue. I criticized how they squandered the money through poor siding. They spent $4 million on that temporary trailer park that they'll never get back. They spent 5 times more building their schools than the Academy of
Poor contracting, which brings us back to SFLA. And we don't have much time. I want to say, Pilot, if you're sick of hearing about this, then how about doing what's right and start straightening up and start printing the truth.
All right, and so it goes for this Wednesday. Have yourself a great, safe day. We'll see you back bright and early tomorrow, 7 to 9. For a Thumping Thursday. Until then, be sure to support all the advertisers you hear on WEEB because they're part of our community. They live and spend their money here also. And please tell them that you got their name from WEEB. That will help us a lot. And as always, don't forget millions of Americans have fought and have died to give and protect the freedoms that you get to enjoy today. Live today worthy of their and their family's sacrifice, and today be sure to thank a veteran for their service on Veterans Day. See you tomorrow.